everyone, and welcome to this episode of Discovering Laguna Woods. I'm Cindy Whitney, and today we're going to take a pause from everything that's going on around us, and we're going to focus on nature and the beautiful abundance of wildlife that we have in our own backyard. Now, we might not have lions and tigers and bears, but we do have sea lions and herons and whales. So stay right there, and I'm coming back with accomplished wildlife photographer Ray LaBelle. Stay right there. Hi, Ray.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good, Cindy. Yeah, I'm fine.
That's good. We're very excited to see some of your marvelous photographs today. And before we get into that, because they're just spectacular, I want to know a little bit about you. I want to know how you came to Laguna Woods, and you have, some different incarnations in your life, and what led you here? How did you come to be here?
Oh, okay. Well, I was born at an early age, and in Connecticut, and I spent 3 years in the Navy in Chicago area, and then I went to Houston for a graduate degree, a PhD, and spent instead of spending 3 or 4 years like I'd planned, I ended up 43 years in Houston, and I started photography when I was doing photography before, but when I had kids, it accelerated the interest in photography. But I never had enough time to get it right. I had a nice SLR camera, but it was sophisticated and had lots of moving parts. So at one point, my family and I visited California and went to Disneyland, and I just loved the weather compared to hot and humid Houston. And so I determined that someday I'd move to California. And my kids knew that, so my son ended up coming here to Cal State Long Beach, which gave us more incentive to go back and forth. And eventually, okay, when I was in Long Beach, I worked. Okay, one of my career changes, I changed to mainframe computer programmer. Microbiology research didn't pay as well as I thought it would, and so my wife and I bought a business while in grad school, a motel, which made a lot more money than grad school. And after a few years, the Houston recession came along and we needed alternative sources of income, and I became a mainframe computer programmer and did contracts around the country. And I did a couple of contracts here in Long Beach, and saw Laguna Leisure World in Seal Beach. And a realtor there said, "Hey, you should look at Laguna Woods." So I came down and looked and bought here in 2003. Long before we intended to retire, but California prices keep going up, so you never know when it's going to stop. Unfortunately, it dipped, but bought in Laguna Woods, rented it out, and eventually in 2013 I retired here. But my wife didn't retire till 2016. I kept trying to inspire her by being too lonely, but that didn't work real well.
So it's been always kind of pointing towards California for you. It seems like pointing towards it and pointing towards more of the natural world. You said your PhD was. Tell me what your PhD was in again.
It's in environmental virology.
Virology. So may I assume that involves communicable diseases?
Yeah, right.
I have like a million questions I want to ask you about that, but that'll have to be for another show. Yeah. we all of a sudden have a lot of interest in communicable diseases.
Right.
So, but anyway, let's thank you so much. It's very interesting to see how people sort of iteratively have an interest in California and then go somewhere else and then come back. I did the same thing. I came out here and then went back and to New England and back. So we find our way here, and I've been here 6 years too. So I think that something is just leading us to this wonderful place, and now we have an opportunity to do different things. So you have photography as your hobby or avocation, or?
And it's a hobby. I guess I'm an advanced amateur now.
Okay.
And since I'm retired, I've had more opportunity to learn more and acquire their equipment.
Yes,
I can afford
the equipment. Speaking of the equipment, we're going to put a shot up now of the beast. Mm-hmm. You've got quite a camera there.
Well, it's a 400 millimeter, a 100 to 400 millimeter lens on a Canon 7D Mark II. The I think the total weight's about 6.5, 7 pounds. So my left arm gets pretty strong holding that up.
Now, what kind of magnification did you say you can get with that?
At 400 millimeter, okay, a standard vision is about 50 millimeter equivalent. So a 400 millimeter is like an 8 times magnification.
8 times, wow.
And
And you
but
can
for
get
birds,
quite,
that's still not enough.
you can get quite far away from something and
Yeah,
still get clarity of the image, which we're going to see.
yeah. A lot of these photos are from quite some distance, and they're what's called cropped in. Yeah,
Yes.
you take the picture and then you
Yeah.
go in, zoom in even
Yes.
closer.
And you don't lose any of that clarity. All right, the first shot that we're going to look at are two birds. They're both rather large, and one of them looks like it's bringing something to the other one. What's happening here?
Well, we have a mother white-tailed kite, I'm assuming mother, bringing its adolescent a mouse. And the adolescent is about the same size as the
Yeah,
mom,
big.
but knows how to fly, but doesn't know apparently yet how to catch mice.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay, so she's being a good mom.
yeah,
And then the next one is that the same type of bird with
it's the same
also?
bird and her offspring, two offspring at the top of a tree. And I just happened to get a good shot of the mom with her wings extended, and the two young birds saying something, maybe saying, "Where's the mouse?" I don't
Yes.
know.
Well, aren't they wonderful? They keep our rodent population down. Now, these were taken in Laguna Woods, is that right?
Right. This is taken in gate 11. The first few photos here are all taken in gate 11.
No kidding. Wow. Okay, so the next one is a bird in flight with magnificent wings. And what is that?
That's the same. We're still the same kind of bird here. There's a white-tailed kite in flight.
Oh, it
And
is.
what I
Okay.
like about this photo is you can see the orange eye,
I know.
which
They're
stands out.
otherworldly, aren't they? My
Mhm.
goodness.
Yeah, it stands
Yes.
out against the white of the bird. And you
Yes.
know, birds in flight are one of the harder things to do. Uh, you shoot an awful lot of shots before you get something satisfactory.
So that's how you do it. You take a numerous amount of shots and then you
Yeah,
look at them and think, here's the
right.
right one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this camera does 10 frames per second. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's not quite movie camera level, but it's, you know, you get more opportunity to get a good pose.
Right. Oh my goodness. They're spectacular. Now there's a two following shots that looks like a different type of bird because the wings seem to be doing something
Oh
different.
yeah, well, these were taken on from a sailboat in Dana Point. These are terns, and I forgot to look up what kind of tern, but
They're in the gull family though, aren't they?
I gotta look that up. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, the first one shows a tern who's gotten a small fish, and the second one is just a nice pose of a tern looking down, and you know, he looks like something spiritual.
He does. It almost looks like an art deco sort of design element, graphic design element. It's just beautiful.
Mhm.
That face frontal view of that bird is just
Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, so then we have an interesting story in the next
yeah.
three frames. What happened here?
Well, this is a couple of springs ago, and there's a white-tailed kite pair raising their young, and I think this is the one that had
Oh,
four babies, and I was standing so that the sun from the west shone on the nest, and I kept looking around, and behind me I saw two birds in the sky, and I didn't know what they were doing. I recognized that they were white-tailed kites, and I took photos. And I didn't realize till I got it in the computer what was going on. It was a mouse exchange. The first photo shows the top bird. I'll assume it's the dad has the mouse, and the second photo shows the mom swinging down, grabbing the mouse with her claws, and the third photo shows the mouse, the mother mouse with the mother bird with the mouse.
yes. So
And
they're handing that off so that
yeah,
the mother apparently can go and feed the young, and the
right.
father can go back, or
For
however,
more. Oh
can go
yeah,
back and for
right.
more. Yeah.
When I was waiting for these birds to go back and forth, every 15 minutes they came back with a mouse.
He did. Oh my goodness. Isn't
And
that
so,
something? Well, a lot of mouths to feed.
right. And this, gate 11 is right next to the wildlife area, and that's where they were going for the mice.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Wow. So you're getting such interesting, insights into nature with your
Yeah,
photography too, that,
yeah,
we just miss because we don't see
yeah.
those things. It's
So
remarkable.
you feel sorry for the mouse or for the hawks. You don't want the hawks to starve.
No, of course not. It's the circle of life.
Yeah,
Okay, now we have a very large bird in flight,
yeah.
and that is, what is
That's a
that?
that's a blue heron, although they actually appear to be gray. In the shade, they appear to be blue.
Yes.
And this happens to be one of my best shots with the wings extended. And I think that one was taken down in Dana Point, well, on the sailboat, for the sailboat for the Ocean Club. So,
But the
these
posture
birds,
of the bird so horizontal with the legs
right?
extended out the back, they're a large bird. I know we have the white herons here. I get them in my front yard sometime. They come up from the
Yeah,
creek, and they're a good sized bird. And to see them in flight like that it's just magnificent.
yeah. And this bird stands probably about 3.5 feet tall. It's a
Yes.
large bird.
Wow. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
So the next one that we come to, it looks like a very large bird, but it's very colorful, but I don't think it is large, is it?
No, the picture is much more bigger than the bird. This is a Allen's hummingbird. This one was posing in the right light, in the sunlight in the morning, on some dead branches. And I finally, it's hard to get the hummingbirds in the right light. They
Yes.
move a lot, and you got to just wait for them to get in position and snap a bunch of photos and hope you're in focus on the eye, and that you get the light.
Yeah.
All these wildlife shots take
Well, it's
hundreds of
quite
shots
beautiful.
before you get good
Yeah.
ones.
I'm not familiar with that coloration of a hummingbird either. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it's an Allen's hummingbird. You can look it up in your birding book, or actually
I
now you
will
can
do that.
on Google Images. You can find all sorts of images. So just look for hummingbird pictures.
Well, your images are pretty spectacular. Now we have another red bird. This one looks like it's in flight. What type of bird is
Right.
that?
This is called the vermilion flycatcher. He's a visitor to the area in November, December, and January. And this was taken at the San Joaquin Wildlife Reserve in Irvine, which is right next to UCI.
Yes.
And it's red on the body and gray black on the wings, and it's only like 4 or 5 inches long. And I've got a lot of pictures of them sitting, and so I took on a challenge of trying to get to them landing. And it took, I don't know, 60, 70 photos to get this one. And at 1/6400th of a second, they're very fast.
Well, it's beautiful. And I also noticed that many of your bird shots in particular have these magnificent sky colors behind them that really complement the bird
Yeah,
itself and really set it off.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they're just a beautiful composition. All right, this next bird I'm familiar with, but I've never
Mhm.
seen one taking off like this. The
Yeah,
pelican.
this is a brown pelican near the seawall in Dana Point. I belong to the Ocean Club, and we used to go sailing twice a week. Right now, well, okay, with COVID, we still went sailing with masks, but right now the motor is in
Yeah.
repair. So not right now, but I try to get whatever interesting photos I can, mostly birds and sea life. We'll see some of that coming up.
Yes, and we have a second shot here of a group of pelicans. They're on a
Right.
dock or something.
There's a dock in Dana Point where there's a huge black boat that goes out and gets bait fish
Oh,
for all the fishermen who go out. And this is on the bait barge. And so they can smell the fish. So they're just waiting for something to happen.
oh,
Something
sure.
to
Yeah,
lose.
they're gonna show up for dinner for sure.
Right.
Um, and then we have some. I think these are osprey.
Yeah, these are 2 shots of osprey. The first one is eating a gold fish called the Garibaldi, which, by the way, is a protected fish, but apparently no one's told the osprey.
No, apparently very tasty.
Yeah, this is at the top of a sailboat mast,
Oh,
next,
wow.
right in a row next to where our boat was kept.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is a osprey eating at the top of a telephone pole at the San Joaquin Wildlife Reserve, eating a
Right.
fish. And an avocet has decided that he wants the osprey to move on. And I saw the corner of my eye, the avocet coming, so I timed the shot. And of course, the osprey's got the look of, what was that?
Yes, really pesky
Yeah.
thing. Wow, that's really amazing. The shots of the interactions are wonderful. Okay,
Mhm.
now the next one I'm hoping is a close-up of something, otherwise it's going to be quite frightening. What's that?
Well, this is not Godzilla, but
That's what it looks like.
it looks like. And you know, those 3, 4, 5 inch long lizards we have around here
Yes.
it's a western fence lizard. And he was sitting on a rock, and the sun was from the east and reflecting off the rock, and got the colors of them quite well in this picture.
Yeah. I had no idea they were that colorful. I thought they were just, well, I
Yeah.
thought they were brown, and then I thought they sort of changed colors.
Well, when you zoom in, you see that the scales, some of them are colored scales.
Yeah.
They're not all colored scales, and they all have a little fleck of color, but it's got to get the sunlight on them to really see it. And most people are aware they have that blue belly and blue throat.
Right.
But
Right.
it's the first time I've really noticed the yellow color interspersed there.
Exactly. Well, we'll move on to the next one, which is not necessarily my favorite animal in the world. What's happening with this very acrobatic snail?
Yeah, that's what I call it, my acrobatic snail.
Really?
He or she, whatever, is on a dried piece of plant, and it's still alive because there's a little green there, and it's hanging on by its tail, and it looks like it's curving up at the waist, if it has a waist, to go back and say, well, I guess I've gone too far.
Isn't it funny that we talk about these animals and we give them personalities, what they're thinking?
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is early morning, and it has a dewdrop on its shell on the bottom.
Oh, it's really a remarkable shot. It really is. I had no idea they were capable of that.
Well, when I walk around, I try to observe.
Next shot, I have to say, I encountered this guy and his brother a couple of nights ago out of the dumpster around 9 o'clock.
Oh, where was your camera?
Yeah, really. No, I was more concerned with making the stomping sounds and making him. They weren't very afraid of me either. They just sort of stood there and looked at me.
Yeah.
So this is our local coyote, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a coyote. That's also here in Gate 11.
Yeah.
You know, that wall is no problem for him to jump. And plus, actually, where the cement wall meets the barbed wire wall, which is not much of a wall, there's a nice big hole, coyote size. So they get in and out easily here in Gate 11. And
well, we share the habitat, don't we? You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of sharing the habitat, this other next photo, I'm hoping I never encountered this guy.
Yeah, this was a hot August day, and I was walking the path here along the El Toro Water District stream, and it's a tar path, and I thought there was a branch on the path until I noticed the branch was moving.
Yes. Yes.
And
that's a rattler, right?
It's a Pacific rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went to the nearby bushes and curled up, and I stood about 15, 20 feet away while I got these pictures.
Yes,
and
good for you.
Got a nice purplish blue tongue there.
Yep, quite foreboding. All right, I'm going to move us along because you have something else that you are a member of here in the village, and that's the Rod and Gun Club. And we've got some shots. First shot is of you. Is this you target shooting?
Me target shooting down at On Target Range down here on Route 5 off Avery Parkway.
Yep.
And we meet. Okay, the Rod and Gun Club is fishing and shooting.
Mm-hmm.
We shoot twice a month on a regular schedule, and we go fishing twice a month on a regular.
And that's
schedule.
posted in the Globe. I saw that posted in the Globe.
Right.
And the next shot, we can see the muzzle flash, can't we? Of the
right.
Gentleman
This is showing
shooting.
the muzzle flash. We have an annual competition, part of the senior games, and this is one of our competitors. And the photographer tried several times to get that flash, and he finally got it.
And then we have, and now women are members of your club too. This is Verity Jones. I know her from archery.
Yeah.
And that's
Charles Ryan.
Charles Ryan, that's right. And you did you?
That's a photo from our
winning an award
competition. Yeah. And Verity, shoots bows and arrows, and so does Charles Ryan. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I understand too that target shooting and archery are very good for our eye-hand coordination, our core strength, our arm strength, our focus, all of those things. So it's good if that's the activity that you enjoy. It's really healthy for us.
Well, it's, people do sports, I guess, because of immediate feedback.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
golf and tennis and archery and
Sure.
shooting.
Now, speaking of sports, now I think this next picture is not of someone who lives in Laguna Woods. At least I hope not. I'm really impressed if
Not
it
yet,
is.
anyway. Not yet. I don't know how old he is. This is I think he's Australian, Mick Fannin, and this
Mhm.
is actually about almost 6 years ago in one of the competitions down here at Trestles. And there's some of these guys put a lot of action into their surfing, and this is one with a very big
It's
splash.
beautiful. Yeah, and this one, and now the next one is also, both of these two surf shots really
Yeah.
defy the laws of physics, don't they? You're looking at that
Right.
balance on that board and you think, how are they staying on there?
Yeah, I guess it's centrifugal force, but
Yes.
this guy's looking straight down.
Yeah.
And both of these people recovered. They came out
They
of the
stayed on the board. Oh my
board.
gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are fabulous shots.
Yeah.
Okay, now the next activity that you belong to here is the Ocean Club, and we have a shot
Right.
here of from your Ocean Club boat across
Right.
to, I guess it's one of the whale watching boats. Is
Right.
that right?
Right. One of the whale watching boats. Yeah.
And what's in the middle?
What's going on here is there a blue whale, which I don't know how well they'll be able to see this on screen, but there's a blue whale who's about maybe 1/3 of the body is above water, and this is a 65-foot boat, and you can see that the part of the whale you can see is about 2/3 of the length of the boat, and there's still plenty of whale underwater. I'm sure the people on the boat had a really good day that day, and have a blue whale within
Yep.
10 feet.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, you're not supposed to approach any of these
No.
whales any closer than I think 50 yards, but this whale went to the boat, so they're exempt from that precaution.
I'm gonna move through the next three shots rather quickly because they are of a whale that you were able
Yeah.
to shoot from
These
your
are
boat.
also blue whale. The first
Blue whale.
one is a blue whale blowing water and air,
Right.
spouting.
Spouting.
And the second one is a blue whale tail in the air. Whales can be identified by their tails. There is a book somewhere of whale tails, and you can identify what whale you saw by the outline and markings on the tail.
Well, we had two good shots of them there. And the next one is dolphins. And you mentioned that it's kind of hard to get a shot of a dolphin because they move so quickly up and down.
Yeah, you can't anticipate. By the time you anticipate a dolphin coming up out of the water to get a picture, all you'll get is tail because he's gone down so quick. So when there's a large group of them, you just take photos of the group and hope that somebody in there is just coming out, which is why this photo is a little fuzzy. It's at a distance, and you just can't anticipate where they're going to come out.
It's nice and close though. We can see that. So yeah, I love pictures of dolphins. They're wonderful. I love watching them. Yeah. So then we are going to have 3 photos coming up of sea lions. This first one looks like something's going on here.
Yeah, it appears we're having a family discussion. We have a mom, dad, and a baby. And I don't know what dad did, but apparently it didn't meet mom's standards. Maybe he was out too late fishing.
Yeah. Yes. He's definitely getting a scolding there.
Yeah. It's anthropomorphic. You see.
That's right. We give them a personality. And then the next one is a wonderful, beautiful little pup, isn't it?
It's a pup. A pup. That's his mom's body in front of him. He's nursing, but he took a little look at our boat. Oh. And the next photo shows him nursing off of mom.
Yes. Oh, that's great. Well, we're going to have to show one last shot, and that is of the boat going out of Dana Point. And I think the name of the boat says it all, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's why we go sailing. The name of the boat is Life's Too Short.
That's right. That's right. And it is. And I'm going to have to thank you now because our time is short, Ray. And I cannot, express enough of thanks for you coming on today and showing us all of these marvelous photographs. They are wonderful, and your stories behind them are just wonderful. So thank you so much for coming on today.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me.
All right. All right. You take good care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us today as we spent time with wildlife photographer Ray LaBelle, learning so much about the glorious creatures that share our local habitat. Thank you so much, Ray. And thank you for joining us every single week on Wednesdays and Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m. You can watch us on Village Television, and you can also watch us on Village Television YouTube. Please take good care of yourselves and stay safe and well, and be kind to everyone around you. We're all in this together. Take care.